ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णे स्वदामो भगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलौ नष्टादृशां एष पुराणार्को अदो नो नितः। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं यद् वैष्णवानां प्रियं पारं यस्मिन् पारमहंस्यम् एकम् अमलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यम् आविष्कृतं तत् शृण्वन् सुपठन् विचारणपर्व भक्त्या विमुच्येन्नरः। सर्ववेदान्तसारं हि श्रीभागवतम् इष्यते तद्रसामृतं तृप्तस्य नान्यत्र स्यात् कृतिं क्वचित् य एतत् श्रावयन् नित्यं यामक्षणमनन्यदीः श्लोकम् एकं तदार्थं वा पादं पादार्थम् एव वा श्रद्धावान् यो अ, अनुशृणुयात् पुनाति आत्मानम् एव सः कृष्णतुल्य भागवत विभो सर्वाश्रया प्रतिश्लोके प्रति अक्षरे नाना अर्थकया प्रेममया भागवत कृष्णेर श्री अंगाम ताहा ते कहे न यथा गोप्य कृष्णेर अंगाम आदि मध्य अंत्य भागवते एकया विष्णु भक्ति नित्य सिद्ध अक्षय अव्यया भागवते शास्त्रे से भक्ति तत्व कहे तेनी भागवत समा कोनो शास्त्र न है। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We are continuing in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have covered till 21 and we'll read till 23, 33 and then we'll look into the purports. Let me share my screen if I have it. Okay. Let me know if you see my screen. Okay. Re Badarayanar Uvacha Ragnastadvacha Akarnya Narado Bhagavan Rishiye Tushtapraha Tam Abhasya Shunvatyas Tad Sadah Kataha. Sri Shukdev Goswami said, after hearing the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Narad Muni, the most powerful spiritual master who knew everything, was very pleased. Thus he replied in the presence of everyone taking part in the yajna. Shri Naraduvacha Nindana Satkara Nyakarartham Kalevaram Pradhana Parayo Rajan Abhivekena Kalpitam. The great sage Sri Naradaji said, O king, blasphemy and praise, chastisement and respect are experienced because of ignorance. The body of conditioned soul is planned by the Lord for suffering in the material world through the agency of the external energy. Himsa tat abhimanena danda parushyayor yatha vaishamyam iha bhutanam mamaham iti parthiva. My dear king, the conditioned soul, being in the bodily conception of life, considers his body to be his self and considers everything in relationship with the body to be his. Because he has this wrong conception of life, he is subjected to dualities like praise and chastisement. यन्निबद्धो अभिमानोऽयं तद् विधाता विधात् प्राणिनां वदः तथा न यस्य कैवल्याद् अभिमानोऽखिलात्मनः परस्य दम कर्तुर्हि हिंसा केनास्य कल्पते कल्प्यते. Because of the bodily conception of life, the conditioned soul thinks that When the body is annihilated, the living being is annihilated. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the supreme controller and the super soul of all living entities. Because he has no material body, he has no false conception of I and mine. It is therefore incorrect to think that he feels pleasure or pain. Give me 1 second. He has no false conception of I and mine. It is therefore incorrect to think that he feels pleasure or pain when blasphemed or offered prayers. This is impossible for him. Thus, he has no enemy and no friend. When he chastises the demons, it is for their good, and when he accepts the prayers of devotees, it is for their good. He is affected neither by prayers nor by blasphemy. तस्माद् वैरानुबन्धेन निर्वैरेण भयेन वा स्नेहात् कामेन वा युञ्यात् कथञ्चिन् नेक्ष्यते पृथक्. Therefore, by enmity or devotional service, by fear, by affection or by lusty desire, by all of these or any one of them, if a conditioned soul somehow or other concentrates his mind upon the Lord, the result is the same. For the Lord, because of his blissful position, is never affected by enmity or friendship. यथा वैरानुबन्धेन मध्यस्थन् मयताम् ईयात् न तथा भक्तियोगेन इति मे निश्चिता मतिः. Narad Muni continued, by devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity towards Him. That is my opinion. कीटः पेशस्कृतारुद्धः कुड्या कुड्यायां तम् अनुस्मरन् संरम्भभययोगेन विन्दते तत् स्वरूपताम्. एवं कृष्णे भगवती माया मनुज ईश्वरे वैरेण पूतपाप्मानस्तम् आपुर अनुचिन्तया. A grass worm confined in a hole of a wall by a bee always thinks of the bee in fear and enmity and later becomes a bee simply because of such remembrance. Similarly, if the conditioned souls somehow or other think of Krishna, who is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, they will become free from their sins, whether thinking of him as their worshipable Lord or an enemy. Because of constantly thinking of him, they will regain their spiritual bodies. कामाद्वेषाद् भयात् स्नेहाद् यथा भक्तेश्वरे मनः आवेश तद् अघं हित्वा बहवस्तं तद्गतिं गताः. Many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feelings, fear, affection, or devotional service. I shall now explain how one receives Krishna's mercy simply by concentrating one's mind upon him. Gopya कामाद्भयात् kamso द्वेषाश्च ऐध्यादयो नृपाः सम्बन्धाद् वृष्णयः स्नेहात् यूयं भक्त्या वयं विभो. My dear King Yudhishthira, the gopis by their lusty desires, Kamsa by his fear, Shishupal and other kings by envy, the Yadus by their familiar relationship with Krishna, you Pandavas by your great affection for Krishna, and we, the general devotees, by our devotional service, have obtained the mercy of Krishna. कथमोऽपि न वेन स्यात् पञ्चानां पुरुषं प्रति तस्मात् केनापि उपायेन मनः कृष्णे निवेशयेत्. Somehow or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. Then one of the five different processes mentioned above, one can then By one of the five different processes mentioned above, one can return home back to Godhead. Atheists like King Vena, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of these five ways, cannot attain salvation. Therefore, one must somehow think of Krishna whether in a friendly way or inimically. Matra Shva Shreya Vaschedyo Dantavakrascha Pandava Parshada Pravarau Vishnor Viprashapat Pada Achyutau. Hmm. Narad Muni continued, O best of the Pandavas, your two cousins, Shishupala and Dantavakra, the sons of your maternal uncle, were formerly associates of Lord Vishnu, but because they were cursed by Brahmanas, they fell from Vaikunta to this material world. We stop here. We go through the purports briefly from verse, is it 10? Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu? Purport from 10? Am
Yes,
I right?
Prabhu.
Yeah, 10 to, yeah. Okay. So we can see so much will be relieved with lot of clarity. Why? Because we have so many doubts about the creation, about the Lord, about His dealings. Is it fair or unfair, and all these things. We can see when we see through the light of Bhagavatam, then we can understand that what yeah, in the first um, few verses already we can see. When we go to the 10th verse, there is this mention about uh, um, Yada Sishrukshu Pura Atmanah Paro Raja Srajati Esha Prataksva Mayaya Satvam Vichitrashu Riramshur Ishvara Saishyamanas Tama Irayati Asau. So here in this in this shloka it said that the Supreme Lord creates different types of bodies, offering a particular body to each living entity. The 84 lakh kinds of species based on what are our interest and what do we deserve. Not only just desire but deserve. We need to have both. It's not just because I want to become prime minister, I won't become prime minister. I should deserve to become prime minister, means we should have desire and what we deserve based on these both. And of course Lord may put his pinch of mercy to make it possible, what we deserve and desire to happen, even if there is some shortcomings. Yeah. So, and it said in the purport, Prabhupada says, although material nature is conducted by the three modes, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, nature is not independent. In fact, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, मयाध्यक्षेण सूयते सचराचरम प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम everything is under running under his direction. हेतु नानेन कौन्तेय जगत विपरिवर्तते. By its rule this manifestation is created, annihilated again and again. So the Lord is the main person through everything is running. In the next shloka it says Kalam charanti srijatisha ashrayam pradhana pumbhyam naradeva satyakrit. Lord is the controller. Satyakrit means Satya means true, Krit means creator. He is the true creator. Thus the supreme personality is never under the time factor nor under the material energy. We cannot say that I am independent because we are created by Hmm? Our parents, and they are created by their parents and their parents and their parents. But the Lord is not created by someone. Lord is existing, is always there. In the purport Prabhupada is mentioning, one should not think that the Lord is independent on, is dependent on the time factor. He actually creates the situation by which material nature acts and by which the conditioned soul is placed under the material nature. To be clear, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur says that creation, maintenance, and annihilation are all under the supreme will of the Lord. Hmm. And then, and the Lord, in the form of time factor, what he does? He awards according to the influences of one who is in one of the three modes. He is never partial. It is not that no, 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 he doesn't, I don't like him, that's why I want to punish him. No, he has no this personal feelings of punishing, or he's not envious, or he doesn't like. He is appreciating if someone becomes a devotee. That's why he is addressed here as Urushrava, means one who is glorious, whose glories are widespread. Urushrava is also one of the names of the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada mentioned as Srila Madhvacharya remarks, Kale Kala Vishaye Pishita Dehadi Karanatvat Suranikam Iva Sthitam Sattvam. Huh? Ordinarily, a murderer is hanged, and in Manu Samhita it is said that a king bestows mercy upon a murderer by killing him, thus saving him from various kinds of sufferings. So, when a king is punishing someone as a death sentence, it is not that king has personal feelings for. No, he is saying if this person is allowed like this, he may continue to do more crimes. It is better to kill, because as a punishment, it's not only punishment, it's also saving. Because of his sinful activities, such a murderer is killed by the mercy of the king. Krishna, the supreme judge, deals with matters in a similar way because he is the supreme controller. The conclusion, therefore, is that the Lord is always impartial and always very kind to all living entities. So he is impartial plus kind, and this kind is not partial, is bestowed on only few. This kindness is on all. And then this Narad Muni, Shukadev Goswami is going to narrate about Yudhishthir Maharaj asking Narad Muni a similar question. He also asked, because what did Yudhishthir Maharaj ask? Hmm? Received historical facts showing how the Supreme Lord is always impartial. Because Parikshit Maharaj asked, I am totally confused. I want a positive narration that Lord Narayana is impartial. So that's why Parikshit Maharaj is referring to what is the conversation happened between Yudhishthira and Narada Muni. Hmm. And then there is once upon there is a Rajasuya Yajna, and for that Maharaj Yudhishthir, he personally saw that Shishupal, after he was killed by the Lord, by Krishna himself, this light, when everyone were seeing, has come and merged into Krishna. That was astonishing. And then Sri Yudhishthira watch, Aho atyadbhutam hi eta durlabhadikanikam api vasudeve pare tatve praptis cha aidyasya vidvishaha. Uh, so how is this possible? How could Shishupal, who always was envious of Krishna, attain Sayujya Mukti? This is certainly astonishing. Etat veditum ichchamaha sarva eva vayam mune bhagavan nindaya veno vijay tamasi patitaha. But you know what? This Vena, uh, who blasphemed the Supreme Lord, and that all the Brahmanas consequently um, obliged him to go to hell. So Shishupal is should also be go to hell, right? Because he also Vena has chastised and also Shishupal has chastised. What is the difference? How then did he merge into Lord's existence? Huh? This is the question. Sapator asakrit Vishnu yad Brahma param avyayam svitro na jato jihvayam nandam vivishatas tamaha. Hmm? He's saying, although these two men, Shishupal and Dantavakra, repeatedly blasphemed the Lord, they were quite healthy. Indeed, their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy. How is it possible? Just can you imagine someone is taking speaking bad about the Lord? He should be punished. Katham tasmin bhagavati duravagrahya damani pasyatam sarva lokanam layam iyatur Anjasa. Huh? How was it possible for Shishupal Dantavakra in the presence of many exalted persons to enter very easily into the body of Krishna, whose nature is difficult to attain? एतद् भ्राम्यति मे बुद्धिर् दीपार्चिर् इव वायुना ब्रूहि एतद् अद्भुततमम् अद्भुतोत्तमं भगवान् हि अत्र कारणम्. This matter is undoubtedly very wonderful. Indeed, he is asking, "Oh Narada, you know everything. Kindly let me know the cause of this wonderful event." This is wherein purport Prabhupada says, Shastras enjoin tad vijnanartam saguram evabhi gacchati. Evabhi gacchet. One should approach a guru to learn. Huh? What is that tad vijnanartam? When one is perplexed by difficult problems of life, to solve them, one must approach Guru like Narada or his representatives in disciplic succession. So Yudhishthir Maharaj has asked Narad Muni. And then Shukadeva Goswami is saying, after hearing this, Narad Muni started saying, Nindan, I think we covered from 23 to 33 we covered. Nindana Sthava, Sthava means to glorify, honor. Nindana Sthava means praising, Stava Manjari. Stava Manjari is singing, Manjari is in a way a kind of a collection of praises, Stava Manjari, which gives pleasure. Nindana Stava Satkara Nyakarartham. So, Nyakara means dishonor. Artham, for this purpose, Kalevaram Pradhana Parayo Rajan Avivekena Kalpitam. So, Narad Muni straight away told to Yudhishthir Maharaj, yeah, O king, this praise, blasphemy, chastisement, disrespect, or all respect are experienced because of ignorance. The body of conditioned soul is planned by the Lord for suffering through the agents of external energy. So when one is feeling all this pleasure, pain, and all these things, it is a mechanism of the Lord to feel, make us feel like that. Himsa tad abhimanena danda parushya yor yatha vaishamyam iha bhutanam mamaham iti parthiva. My dear king, the conditioned soul being the bodily, in the bodily conception, considers his body to be his self and considers everything in relationship with the body to be his. This is our problem. Yan yan nibaddho abhimano yam tad vidhata praninam vadha tatha na yasya kaivalyad abhimano akhilatmanaha parasya dama kartur hi himsa kenasya kalpyate. So, all is saying, this is impossible for the Lord to feel like he is chastised, he is blasphemed. No. Whether someone is offering prayers or blasphemed, the Lord is untouched by that. He's not affected. This is impossible for. Thus, he has no enemy, no friend. When he is not taking anything to him, he has no enemies, no friends. Similarly, a devotee, he has no enemies, no friends. Huh? When he chastises the demons, it is for their good, and when he accepts the prayers of the devotees, it is for their good. He is affected neither by prayers nor by blasphemy. तस्माद् वैरानुबन्धेन निर्वैरेण भयेन वा स्नेहात् कामेन वा यज्ञात् कथञ्चिन् नेक्षते पृथक्. Here it is said, conditioned soul gets same result if mind is concentrated upon Lord by enmity. If one has so much enemy, he is my enemy, always remembering what happened to Hiranyaksha. He thought Vishnu is his enemy, so he chastised. Oh, I want the strongest enemy to fight, and he got killed. And by devotional service, if one is absorbed, by fear, one is always remembering the Lord, by affection, by lusty desire, by all these or any one of these, one attains perfection. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions Bhakti Yoga means Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. One should serve Krishna very favorably. What does that mean? This is a real injunction. Here it is said that although an enemy thinks of Krishna unfavorably, the Lord is unaffected by such anti-devotional service. Thus, he offers his benedictions even to Shishupala and similarly inimical conditioned souls. In fact, it is mentioned the stress is given to the favorable execution of devotional service, not purposefully blasphemy of the Lord. It is said here, Nindam Bhagavata Shrunvams Tat Parasya Janasya Va Tato Na Paiti Yah So Api Yati Adha Sukritas Chata. It is said, one who hears blasphemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees should immediately take action or should leave. Otherwise, he will he will be put into hellish life perpetually. In fact, Jaya Vijaya inwardly knew that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they purposefully became his enemies. They purposefully became his enemies to be delivered from material life. From the very beginning of their lives, they thought of Lord Krishna as an enemy. And even though blaspheming Lord Krishna, they chanted the holy name of Krishna constantly along with their inimical thoughts. Thus, they were purified because of chanting the holy name of Krishna. It is to be understood that even a blasphemer can be freed from sinful activities by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Certainly, therefore, freedom is assured for a devotee who is always favorable to the service of the Lord. This will be clear from the following verse. In fact, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very nicely explained the word bhayena, by fear. Uh, when the gopis went to Krishna in the dead of night, they certainly feared chastisement by their relatives, their husbands, brothers, fathers, but nonetheless, not caring for their relatives, they went to Krishna. There was certainly fear, but this fear could not check their devotional service to Krishna. Yeah. So Srila Madhvacharya also says in many ways that one should not blaspheme Lord Vishnu through one's mind, words, or actions. For a blasphemer will go to hell, hellish life after along with his forefathers. There is this in Sloka, Karmana Manasa Vacha. Karmana means our activities, Manasa with our mind, Vacha means with our words. Karmana Manasa Vacha Yo Vishyad Vishnum Avyayam Majjanti Pitaras Tasya Narake Shashwati Samaha. That is what is said. And in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, Tan aham dvishatah kruran samsareshu naradaman kshipami ajasram ashubhan asurim eva yonishu. Asurim yonim apanna mudha janmani mam aprapya eva kaunteya tato yanti adhamam gatim. Yeah. So one is destined to go to hell. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Those who are, what is it, the word used here? Karma, majjanti pidarastasya, no, tan aham dvishatah kruran. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me in the ocean of material existence. So the conclusion is that one should give up. Sorry, one should in the purport it's the conclusion is that one should not give up pure devotional service. For one's own benefit, one should not imitate Hiranyakashipu or Shishupal. This is not the way to achieve success. यथा वैरानुबंधेन मत्यस्तन् मयताम इयात न तथा भक्ति योगेन इति मे निश्चिता मतिः. Narad Muni continued, by devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity toward Him. This is my opinion. Hmm. Of course, we should not say, oh, especially, it is said this service is indirectly praised by Narad Muni in this verse, especially for the conditioned soul. Narad Muni recommends that one somehow or other be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, for that will save one from all dangers of material existence. Full absorption in thought of Krishna is highest platform of bhakti yoga. I'll stop here. Oh, I think maybe I can, maybe 2 more minutes, please, and then we can come to 33 also. Then the example of a grass worm is given, and then kama dveshad bhayat snehad yatha bhakteshware manaha avesya tat agham hitva bhavahas tad gatim gataha. It says many persons have attained liberation simply by thinking of Krishna with great attention and giving up sinful activities. This great attention may be due to lusty desires, inimical feelings, fear, affection, or devotional service. And then Narad Muni is saying, what are the examples for each of this? Gopya kamat bhayat kamso dveshat chaidyadayo nrupaha sambandhad vrishna yah snehad yuyam bhaktya vayam vibho. The examples given here are Shishupal and other kings by envy, Gopis by their lusty desire, Kamsa by his fear, Yadus by their family relationships, and Pandavas by their affection to Krishna, and others, general devotees, through their devotion, have obtained the mercy of the Lord. Hmm. Kathamopi na vena syad. But what about Vena? Because that was the question. Confusing question. Shishupal, who was chastising, blaspheming Krishna like anything, he got Swayujya Mukti. But Vena, of course, he was a king. Of course, Brahmanas have cursed. Why not he become also get same result? Hmm? कथमोऽपि न वेन स्यात् पञ्चानां पुरुषं प्रति तस्मात् केनापि उपायेन मनः कृष्णे निवेशयेत्. That's what is missing. Atheist. King Vena was an atheist. He was not having in Krishna at all in his mind. However, I mean, it said atheist like King Vena, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of these five ways cannot attain salvation. What is that? Therefore, one must somehow think of Krishna, whether in a friendly way or inimically. In the purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, in this connection, Tena Shishupaladi Bhinnaha Pratikula Bhavam Didhi Shur Ena Eva Narakam Yatiti Bhavaha. Except for Shishupal, those who go against the regulative principles cannot attain salvation and are surely destined for hellish life. The regulative principle is that one must always think of Krishna whether as a friend or enemy. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, anyone have any thoughts or questions? Okay, then wish you a nice evening. पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रन्थराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Prabhuji.
Hare
राधे
Krishna.